From the burning desire to be the best featherweight champ to the explosive match that could be the best UFC fight ever. This is why Alexander Volkanovski wants to fight Conor McGregor. In the wild world of the UFC, where warriors rise and legends clash, there's nothing more exciting than a showdown between two larger-than-life fighters. Entering the ring, Alexander Volkanovski, the reigning featherweight champion, a man with an unquenchable thirst for victory. And who stands before him? The guy with his confident and infectious charisma. It's none other than the notorious Irishman himself, Conor McGregor. A fight between Volkanovski and McGregor would be a showstopper. Like my kids' would hear about the fight as if it were a fairy tale. Two extraordinary athletes, each with a unique fighting style and a hunger for glory, stepping into the octagon to settle the score once and for all. Volkanovski, the relentless Australian powerhouse, possesses the perfect blend of unwavering determination and willpower. Meanwhile, McGregor, the larger-than-life Irishman, has his charismatic swagger and lightning-fast fists that he captivated the world with his explosive knockouts and trash-talking antics. We're going to take a walk in the ring to uncover Volkanovski's burning desire to step into the cage with the notorious McGregor. But first, let's address it. Volkanovski, the undisputed king of the 145-pound division, has crushed every opponent thrown his way. Everyone from Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo, and Chan Sung Jung. But among his triumphs, there's one fighter that haunts his dreams. Yep, McGregor. On the MMA Fan podcast, Volkanovski spoke on it, saying, "It's pretty easy for me in saying Conor McGregor because he was in featherweight. He was a featherweight. We've got to remember the champions I've beat. I've beaten every other champion in the featherweight division. The only champ I haven't fought in the featherweight division is Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor in his prime in the featherweight division would obviously be the all-time. I'm sure everyone would want to see that right now. If we could make that happen right now, somehow get prime Conor versus prime Volk, it would be pretty special." So what do we think is motivating Volk? Is it the cash? Anyone who is fighting McGregor is guaranteed a bag full of Benjamins, let's be honest. But strangely enough, that is not what is motivating Volk. He says, everyone's going to talk about the money and that's why you only want that fight. Yeah, of course, there's money in it. The circus around it, the hype, all of that. But you talk about legacy. You know, then I would have beaten every featherweight champion. The guy genuinely just wants to be the best. In a post by ESPN MMA, Volkanovski responded, "Let's do it at lightweight," and the fans are all for it. Check out these comments. Conor don't want that smoke. He is scared of you, for a good reason too. Another fan followed up with, "This would be the greatest fight in the history of the sport." Another fan said, "Volk just don't hurt this guy too bad, he's got a family." So we've talked about how Volkanovski feels, but what about McGregor? In a trademark display of social media wizardry, the Irishman unleashed a series of wild posts that set the UFC world ablaze. But what caught everyone's attention was a shot fired directly at Volkanovski. McGregor, known for his unfiltered and fearless online presence, didn't hold back. He said in a post, "My two old belts on two little ticks. This fight does 10 buys." Volkanovski replied back with a quote from McGregor himself. It said, "Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners." What a burn. There has to be a fight brewing. But how would the match play out? Well, McGregor and Volkanovski are two highly skilled fighters with very different fighting styles. McGregor is known for his striking abilities, particularly his left hand, which has earned him numerous knockouts throughout his career. He is also known for his flashy movement and the ability to finish fights early. Volkanovski, on the other hand, is a more well-rounded fighter with a background in wrestling and a strong ground game. He has the ability to control his opponents on the ground and wear them down with his grappling skill.
So you may need to bail on this submission attempt. That's going to do it. Alexander Volkanovski.
Despite their differences in fighting styles, both McGregor and Volkanovski share a common trait: the ability to dominate their opponents. McGregor, in particular, has been known to overwhelm his opponents with his striking, often finishing fights in the first round.
Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr. Conor relaxed and smiling. Oh! He slapped him!
Volkanovski, on the other hand, has a more methodical approach, using his wrestling skills to control the pace of the fight and wear his opponents down over time.
Clinch. Joe, this is what the world was hoping for.
One of the most intriguing aspects of a potential matchup between McGregor and Volkanovski is how their different fighting styles would clash. McGregor's striking abilities would be put to the test against Volkanovski's wrestling skills, and it would be interesting to see how McGregor would handle being taken down and controlled on the ground. At the same time, Volkanovski would have to be careful not to get caught by McGregor's powerful left hand, which has been known to end fights quickly. So overall, it would be a battle of McGregor's striking abilities and flashy flashy movement, and Volkanovski's well-rounded fighting technique. A potential matchup between these two fighters would be an intriguing clash of styles, with fans eagerly anticipating who would come out on top. I can't lie, it would be hard to see who would have the upper hand, but we can look at something that could hinder each fighter. In the clash between Volkanovski and McGregor, cardio and conditioning may play a pivotal role. McGregor's past struggles with fading in later rounds have been well documented, while Volkanovski is known for his relentless pace and unwavering stamina. If the fight goes the distance, Volkanovski's superior cardio could give him a decisive advantage. McGregor's explosive power may shine early on, but it's the endurance test of prolonged rounds where Volkanovski's relentless engine could prove to be the key to victory. Let's rewind the clock and dive into the journey of Volkanovski, a man who knows no fear when it comes to facing bigger opponents. You see, when Volkanovski made his UFC debut, he did it in the lightweight division. Yes, you heard that right.
And who thinks about Hirota and why he couldn't put this guy out? Yes, very tough. Hirota.
While Conor McGregor was busy strutting his stuff at featherweight, Volkanovski was brawling with the big boys. He danced with giants and emerged victorious time and time again. McGregor may find it quite the challenge to venture down to featherweight. He's been no stranger to complaining about the weight-cutting process in the past, and the idea of trimming down to face the mighty Volkanovski might make him break out in a cold sweat. Now, don't get me wrong, McGregor is a force to be reckoned with. His explosiveness and precision are still good. But when it comes to size and familiarity with the featherweight realm, Volkanovski has the upper hand. Who knows? Maybe if McGregor wins his match against Chandler, a former Bellator lightweight champ, we could finally see a match against Volk at 145. We can only hope. It's crazy to think about what these fighters brought to UFC. Both fighters have made significant contributions to the sport of UFC in their respective ways. McGregor's charismatic personality, showmanship, and knockout power have made him a huge commercial draw and one of the biggest stars in UFC history. On the other hand, Volkanovski's fight win streak, which includes victories over former champions like Max Holloway and Jose Aldo, has proven him to be one of the most well-rounded and dominant fighters in the sport. In terms of who has done more for the sport, it's difficult to compare, as they have both made significant contributions in different ways.
With an incredible pace here, too. He's putting a lot of pressure on Mendez. Ripping to the body, he drops him. That's it.
Well, it's easy to see why Volkanovski wants to fight McGregor. His confidence in his abilities and his desire to prove himself against one of the biggest names in the sport. While McGregor's knockout power and showmanship have made him a commercial draw, Volkanovski's well-rounded approach to striking, wrestling background, solid defense, and impressive resume gives him a fair chance of coming out on top in a potential matchup. Only time will tell if this fight will come to fruition, but it would undoubtedly be a mesmerizing clash of styles for fans to watch. From the explosive match that could be the best UFC fight ever, to the burning desire to be the best featherweight champ. This was why Alexander Volkanovski wants to fight Conor McGregor.